Inside PressBox is presented by Live Casino and Hotel. Always live, always on.
And PressBoxOnline.com is your resource for fantasy football, featuring our fantasy expert, Ken Zales. Get Ken's latest fantasy advice each week and update yourself each Sunday before the games with Ken's Fantasy and Reality Football Show at Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. And it's all brought to you by Wise Markets. And if you're looking for a great deal on clothing or hard-to-find collectibles, Goodwill has it all with low prices on thousands of items. Their inventory changes daily, so you never know what you're going to find. Visit givetogoodwill.org.
And welcome back in here to celebrate episode 500 is the original co-host on the show. He's now the host of Caps pregame and postgame live on NBC Sports Washington. He's also married with twin daughters, none of which was true 500 episodes ago. Let's welcome in our old friend, Rob Carlin. Thanks very much.
Hey, good to see you guys. I predated this guy.
That's right.
And predated Brett Hollander and Rob Long, but he's the one that's evolved. He works cheap like I do. Hey, before, I want to thank you for coming in because I know certainly. It's a bit of you were our number 2 choice. I said, what could make this show special? Brooks Robinson. So I called Brooks, and Brooks said, is that the only date we can do it? And I said, well, it's the 500th episode. He says, I already got a signing that night. He goes, but I'm happy to come in afterwards.
So the gap between Brooks Robinson at 1 and me at 2 is a tremendous gap, though.
No, really not really, because he's had nothing to do with the show. You had.
That's true.
We started like 10 years ago. It's pretty amazing that we're here at 500.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I worked here, and which again, you just had to take me because I worked here. So that's what made me the package. That's part of the package. You want to do a show here, you take Rob because he's got to do something while he's here. So so that was pre being married, pre kids. My whole world has changed since then, all for the better. I met Megan, my wife, here. I was the weekend sports guy. She was the weekend anchor. And then I followed her around the building until she finally went out with me. So.
And then Garceau left, and you took over here as sports director for about a year and a half.
I was the sole survivor. Yeah, that was it. I was here, and then they shuttered the doors afterwards. So when I started at NBC Sports Washington, which was then CSN, Comcast Sportsnet, Brent Harris, who I know you guys had on a couple of weeks ago.
Great guy.
Brent and I go way back. He was like, hey, try not to shut this place down, okay? Like they shut down sports while I was here. So
that is so funny.
Yeah, so far, still going.
Look, I don't know how you did it for however long you did it, a year or two, because I've worked with this guy for 3 or 4 years now, and it's ridiculous.
That's why I got out, man.
I know.
I got out.
But I want to talk about what you do now, okay? And it's interesting to me because I don't think anybody can really ever explain why a championship team wins a championship, except if you're in New England and you've got 2 big reasons, right? But from your perspective, I don't think and it's not like the Caps have been a downtrodden franchise. I mean, they've been good, right? Not the best, but from your perspective in your seat, what happened last year that could explain their success?
Well, finally they did it. I mean, this is a team that should have done this a long time ago. If not for Pittsburgh, they probably would have done it a couple of times possibly over the years. And it took a long time. The buy-in, I don't think, was necessarily all there all the time to play a 200-foot game. Ovi's the greatest goal scorer of our generation. I don't know if he particularly cared all that much about blocking shots. But if you go back through that Stanley Cup run, there were times where Ovi was blocking shots and literally limping off the ice after blocking shots. That stuff goes down from line to line. If that dude's doing that, I got to do something. So I think a lot of that happened. I mean, think about the play that eliminated Pittsburgh. It was his back check that springs Kuzi the other way that eliminates Pittsburgh. So all that buy-in, and then all those years where it was Ovi and Backstrom and it was so top-heavy, and you'd get to the playoffs, and the third and fourth line guys never did anything.
Right. And this year they did.
And then this year was literally everyone did something every night, and that was what finally made them win.
I had Craig Laughlin on one of our radio shows on PressBoxOnline.com, and he used the simple term, we finally got some puck luck.
We did.
I mean,
absolutely.
You've got to have
it. You've got to have that. You got to have health, you got to have puck luck, and you got to have a great goalie. And they had all of it, despite the fact that Braden Holtby didn't start the playoffs.
Right, that was weird,
which is the craziest thing ever. But when he came back in Columbus, something changed in the team. And then it was because you think about it, they were down 0-2. They lose their first 2 games at home to Columbus.
I remember that.
If they lose game 3, which went to double overtime, we're all taking vacations in May. Instead, we go to June 7th, the night they win it. So they got puck luck on a weird double bounce off Lars Eller's skate, a dirty, greasy goal, which they never got in the playoffs. And it was just, like I said, Devontae Smith-Pelly is super clutch in the playoffs. Eller scores. I interviewed Eller a couple of weeks ago. I said, 50 years from now when they're doing a promo about the Stanley Cup, you're going to see that shot of you calling over your teammates after that. Like, you're now part of Stanley Cup history. The save from Braden Holtby, Stanley Cup history. So all these different things, like, again, everyone did something.
We really appreciate your coming in and spending a few minutes with us.
That's it? I'm done?
You're done. You're out of here.
The Caps, what do you predict for them this year?
I think they have a good chance to do it again. I mean, they bring back everyone but their fourth-line center and their backup goalie. They are built to win, and maybe a couple more times with Ovi and Backstrom.
Still going to need some puck luck, though.
They need some puck luck.
There he is.
Blocker said it. So.
Rob Carlin, episode 500.
Great. I was here for 1 and 500.
All right. We'll get you in another 10. Yeah, it's you.
It's me.
It's
After
you,
the break,
man.
next one up, Executive
So
Director
smooth.
Matt Hanna.
So smooth.
Very smooth. And Program Director Shel Simon outlined the work their foundation is doing right here in Baltimore with young men. Inside PressBox will return right after this.
For the best in sales, service, parts, and collision repair, visit ThompsonAutomotive.com.
And with Loop League, fantasy players can link together events from across the sports landscape into one comprehensive fantasy pool. Pick from dozens of events, play against your friends, and combine events at the PGA Tour, NFL playoffs, or NCAA football. To register, visit loopleague.com.
Inside PressBox is presented by Live Casino and Hotel. Always live, always on.